Brooklyn, New York, August 1970. Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Marty Reisman walks down Atlantic Avenue. Dark clouds overhead, rain threatening. August in New York, hot, humid, storm season. The air feels heavy, electric, like the sky's holding its breath before exhaling violence. Marty is 39 years old, carrying his paddle in a leather case, wearing dark pants and a collared shirt, already sweating from the humidity. The match is scheduled for 8 p.m., 1 hour away. He's early. Always early for money matches, gives him time to feel the space, test the table, adjust to lighting, small advantages that add up. Tonight's match is for $1,000 against a player named Rico Martinez, late 20s, from Philadelphia. Drove 2 hours to get here. Good player. Regional champion in Pennsylvania. Not professional level, but solid. Dangerous if you underestimate him. The venue is a social club basement, Atlantic Avenue and Court Street. Place called Dimitri's, Greek-owned. 2 ping-pong tables in the back room. Used to be storage. Converted 5 years ago. Low ceilings, brick walls, minimal lighting. Not fancy, but functional and private. Perfect for money matches that operate in legal gray areas. Marty reaches the building. Narrow entrance between a deli and a shoe repair shop. Metal door, unmarked. You'd never know anything was down there unless someone told you. He pushes the door open. Stairs descending. Concrete steps. Water running down the stairs. Not a trickle. Flowing like a stream. Marty stops. Looks down. This isn't right. He descends carefully, each step splashing. More water as he goes lower. At the bottom, the basement is flooded. 4 inches of standing water covering the entire floor. Tables floating slightly, chairs tipped over, 20 people standing in the water, looking confused, angry, wet. Dimitri, the owner, is yelling in Greek, then English, then Greek again. Pipe burst, 30 minutes ago, upstairs bathroom, everything flooded, matches off, everyone go home. Marty wades through the water, finds Rico. Tall guy, muscular, wearing track pants and a t-shirt, looking frustrated. "You're Reisman?" Rico asks. "Yeah." "This is unbelievable. I drove 2 hours, took time off work, got money riding on this." "Same here." "We playing or what?" Marty looks around. Water everywhere, tables ruined, basement uninhabitable. "Can't play here, obviously." "So we reschedule?" "When?" "I leave tomorrow, back to Philly." "Can't come back for a month." "Then I guess we cancel." "The bet's already placed. 20 people have money on this match. You and me each got 1,000 on the line. We cancel, nobody gets paid, people lose side bets. This becomes a mess," Marty thinks. Rico's right. Canceling now creates problems. Gambling debts don't just disappear. Money is expected. Results are expected. Canceling means disputes, arguments, possibly violence if the wrong people lose their bets. Someone in the crowd speaks up. "There's another place, Murphy's Gym, 3 blocks west." Dimitri shakes his head. "Murphy's is closed for renovation, no tables." "What about the community center?" "Booked, Saturday Night League." "The school on Bergen?" "Locked after 6 p.m. They go through options. Every venue is either closed, booked, or too far away. The match was supposed to start in 50 minutes. No time to find an alternative location. Outside, thunder rumbles. Close. The storm is coming. The rain that's been threatening all evening is about to arrive. Someone says, "There's Prospect Park, 2 blocks south. Stone pavilion near the playground. Has a roof. Kind of." Everyone looks at him. It's outside. The pavilion has a partial roof, covers maybe half the space. It's about to rain. I know. "You're suggesting we play ping pong outside, in a park, in a rainstorm. You got a better idea?" Silence. No one has a better idea. Marty looks at Rico. "What do you think?" Rico looks skeptical. "You serious? We can't play in rain." "Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But if we don't try, the match doesn't happen. Money doesn't get settled. I drove across town. You drove 2 hours. Everyone here placed bets. We owe it to ourselves to try." Rico considers. The alternative is canceling, driving home with nothing, explaining to the people who bet on him why the match didn't happen. Coming back in a month maybe, or never. Okay, Rico says, let's try. Dimitri protests. The table. You can't take the table. It's ruined anyway from the flood, but still. Someone offers money. $50 for the table. Dimitri accepts. Now they have a table. Waterlogged and damaged, but a table. 8 men volunteer to carry it. Marty and Rico don't carry. They're playing, need to conserve energy. The 8 men lift the table. Heavy, water-soaked, awkward. They maneuver it up the narrow stairs, out onto Atlantic Avenue. The rain starts, not a drizzle, immediate downpour, summer storm, warm rain, heavy drops, the kind that soaks you in seconds. The men carry the table down Atlantic. 2 blocks feels like 2 miles. Water streaming off the table, everyone getting drenched, cars passing, honking, confused. Who carries a ping-pong table through a rainstorm? They reach Prospect Park, enter near the 3rd Street entrance. The pavilion is visible, stone structure, built in the 1930s, WPA project, solid construction, 8 columns supporting a flat roof, but only covers about 40% of the space. 3 sides open to the elements, one side partially enclosed with a low stone wall. They position the table under the covered section, but rain is blowing in from the open sides, wind pushing it sideways. The table is already soaked, water pooling on the surface. They try to wipe it dry. Impossible. The rain keeps coming. 20 people huddle under the pavilion, some under the roof, some standing in the rain. Not enough covered space for everyone. Most people accept they're going to be wet, commit to it, stop fighting the rain. Rico looks at Marty, both soaked, hair dripping, clothes heavy with water. This is insane. But they're here. Table is here. Crowd is here. Money is at stake. We really doing this? Rico asks. Unless you want to forfeit? I don't forfeit. Then we're doing this. Someone finds paddles. Waterlogged from the basement, rubber grip swollen, wood warped, but functional enough. They test the table. The surface is slick. Water doesn't drain, just sits there. They try to squeegee it off with hands. Works for a moment, then rain refills it. Someone volunteers to continuously wipe the table, between every point. Keep it as dry as possible. It's not enough, but it's something. The match begins, 8 o'clock, exactly when it was scheduled. Just different location, different conditions, very different conditions. Marty serves. The ball's wet, feels heavy, doesn't bounce normally. Lands on the table, makes a dull thud instead of a crisp bounce. Rico returns. The ball skids, not enough grip, travels faster than expected. Marty adjusts, blocks, returns, they rally, 3 shots, 5, 7. Then Rico hits too hard. The ball slides off the wet table surface, goes wide. Point to Marty, 1-0. They continue. Every point is a struggle, not against each other, against the conditions. The ball is heavy, the paddles are slippery, the table surface is unpredictable. Water puddles form in low spots. The ball hits a puddle and dies, or skips, or changes direction. Wind is a factor. Gusts blow through the open sides of the pavilion. The ball is light. Wind catches it, changes trajectory mid-flight. Both players have to adjust constantly. Calculate not just the shot, but the wind, the rain, the wetness. Standard techniques don't work. Spin is impossible. The wet ball won't grip the paddle, just slides off. Speed is dangerous. Too fast and the ball skids on water and goes long. Power is useless. Control is everything. Placement, angles, precision under chaos. This is the most basic ping pong possible. Stripped down to fundamentals. No tricks, no spin, no power. Just getting the ball on the table, over the net, within bounds, over and over. Marty is ahead, 4-2, then 5-3. Rico fights back, 7-6. They're both adapting, learning the conditions. The game is different. But it's still ping pong, still about reading opponents, still about precision, still about who adjusts faster. The crowd watches in disbelief. This is absurd. Playing ping pong in a rainstorm, in a park, at night. Everyone soaked, ball barely bouncing, table covered in water. But both players are completely focused, serious, treating this like a championship match. Because for them, it is. $1,000 each. That's serious money. That's rent for 3 months. That's food. That's survival. The conditions don't change the stakes. If anything, the conditions raise them. Because now it's not just about skill. It's about who wants it more, who's willing to suffer more, who refuses to quit when quitting makes perfect sense. 8-7 Marty. Rico serves, careful serve, just getting it in. Marty returns. Long rally, 12 shots, 15. Both players exhausted, not from exertion, from concentration. Every shot requires absolute focus. The margin for error is 0, 1 mistake, and the point is over. Marty places a shot short. Rico runs forward, slips slightly on the wet ground, recovers, returns, but weak. Marty attacks. Winner. 9-7. 2 more points. Marty needs 2 more points to win the first game. 9-8, 10-8, 10-9. Game point. Marty serves. Rico returns. Rally. Marty tries to end it. Goes for the corner. The ball hits the edge of a water puddle. Skips wrong. Goes long. 10-10. Deuce. First a 2-point lead wins. 10-11 Rico. He's ahead. 1 point from stealing this game. Marty focuses, blocks out the rain, the water, the cold, the absurdity, just focuses on the ball, the table, the next shot, serves. Rico returns. Marty places it deep. Rico returns. Marty short. Rico runs up, returns. Marty lobs over him. Point 11-11. Next point wins. Rico serves. Marty returns carefully. Rally, 8 shots, 10-12. Neither player willing to force anything, just waiting. Patient until someone makes a mistake. The mistake comes. Rico's shot hits a puddle. Ball dies, doesn't bounce. Marty can't return it. Technically, it landed on the table, but didn't bounce. Do they replay? The crowd argues. No official referee, just players and spectators. Someone says replay the point. Someone else says it's Rico's point. The ball landed in. Marty agrees. Rico's point. Marty doesn't argue. In money matches, you keep playing. You don't waste energy on disputes. 12-11 Rico. First game. Rico wins the first game in a rainstorm in Prospect Park on a flooded table at night. The absurdity is complete. They take a 30-second break. Someone tries to dry the table. Impossible. More rain just immediately replaces it. They give up. Accept the conditions. This is how it is. This is how it's going to be. Second game starts. Both players adjusted now. Both understand the conditions. Both know what works and what doesn't. No spin, no power, just placement, just precision, just will. The second game is closer than the first. Every point is a battle. 3-3, 5-5, 7-7. Neither player can pull away. The conditions are equalizing, making skill matter less, making determination matter more. 9-9, 2 points away for either player. Marty serves. Rico returns. Long rally. 20 shots. 25. The crowd counts. 30, 35. This is impossible. How are they maintaining a rally in these conditions? How is the ball still bouncing? How are they still playing? 40 shots. Someone loses count. Doesn't matter. The rally continues. Both players locked in. Neither willing to force an error, just waiting. Patient, mechanical, shot after shot after shot. Finally, Rico goes for a winner. Too much. The ball catches wind, goes wide. 10-9 Marty, match point again. But Marty doesn't close it. Hits the net on his serve. 10-10, deuce again. 10-11 Rico, his point. 11-11, tied again. 11-12 Rico, he's ahead. 12-12. Marty catches up. This could go on forever. Neither player giving an inch, neither making mistakes. Both completely dialed in despite the rain, the water, the cold, the wind, the absurdity. 12-13. Marty, he's ahead. 13-13. 13-14 Marty. He needs 1 more point, just 1. Rico serves. Marty returns. Rally, not a long one. 5 shots. Marty sees an opening, angles it to the corner. Away from Rico. Perfect placement. Rico runs, reaches it. But his return is weak, high, floating. Marty steps in, puts it away, straight down, unreturnable, 14-13, second game to Marty, match over. Marty wins 2-1. Final scores, 9-11, 14-13. The closest match he's played in months. Not because Rico is that good, because the conditions were that bad. Both players are exhausted, drenched, shivering slightly despite the warm rain. But the match is complete. The bet is settled. The money is real. Rico walks around the table, extends his hand. Marty takes it. They shake, firm, respectful. "That was the stupidest thing I've ever done," Rico says. "Agreed. But also the most fun." Marty smiles. Rare for him, but true. "Yeah, it was. We played ping pong in a rainstorm, in a park. Who does that?" "We did, just now. Anyone asks, I'm telling them. They won't believe it. Doesn't matter if they believe it. We know what happened." The crowd disperses. Money changes hands. Side bets settled. Marty collects his $1,000, soaking wet bills. But money is money. He counts it. All there, puts it in his pocket. Rico collects his payout from the side bets he won. Smaller than if he'd won the match, but something. Better than nothing. He drove 2 hours, played in a rainstorm, left with money and a story. Not the worst outcome. The table stays in the park. Too heavy to carry back, too damaged to be useful. They leave it under the pavilion. Let the rain wash it clean. Let whoever finds it decide what to do with it. By tomorrow morning, it might be gone. Stolen or destroyed or removed by Parks Department. Doesn't matter. It served its purpose. Marty walks home. Still raining? Doesn't matter. Already completely soaked. Can't get more wet. The rain feels good now. Cleansing, cooling. The adrenaline is wearing off. The exhaustion is setting in. But also satisfaction. The match happened against all logic, against all reasonable decision-making. They made it happen. That night, Marty lies in bed, replaying the match. The conditions were objectively terrible, the worst he'd ever played in. But the experience was unique, memorable, pure. No frills, no perfect conditions, no ideal setup, just 2 players and a ball and the refusal to quit. The next week, people ask Marty about the match. Word spreads. "You really played in the rain?" "In Prospect Park?" "During a storm," Marty confirms. "Yes, really happened." "Why?" "Because canceling wasn't an option. Money was on the line. Opponent drove 2 hours, 20 people placed bets. We owed it to everyone to play." "But in the rain?" "It was the only option available." Over the following months, the story grows, gets embellished. People add details that didn't happen. Hurricane force winds, lightning strikes near the pavilion, Marty playing with one hand behind his back, Rico using a broken paddle. None of it true, but the legend grows anyway. The true story is enough. No embellishment needed. On August 22, 1970, 2 professional ping pong players carried a waterlogged table 2 blocks through Brooklyn in a rainstorm, set it up in a park pavilion, and played a competitive match for $1,000 while completely soaked in impossible conditions. That actually happened. Witnessed by 20 people. Completed despite every rational reason to cancel. Years later, in 1998, a reporter asks Marty about his most memorable match. Marty thinks. Could mention championship wins, big money matches, famous opponents, dramatic comebacks. But he says, Prospect Park, August 1970, in the rain, match against a guy named Rico. Everything was wrong. Venue flooded, moved to a park, storm hit. We played anyway. Closest match I had that year, most fun too. Why was it fun? It sounds miserable. It was miserable. That's why it was fun. When conditions are perfect, anyone can look good. When conditions are impossible, only people who love the game keep playing. That night, everyone there loved the game. We loved it more than comfort, more than shelter, more than common sense. We loved it enough to play in a rainstorm. That's pure. That's real. That's what I remember most. The reporter asks, would you do it again? Marty thinks, no, I'm too old now, too smart. I'd cancel, reschedule, find a real venue, make sensible decisions. But you're glad you did it then? Absolutely. Because at 39, I was still young enough to make terrible decisions, still crazy enough to carry a table through a rainstorm, still willing to play under any conditions if the alternative was not playing at all. That's youth, not age. Youth is measured in willingness to do stupid things for the right reasons. By that measure, I was young that night. Very young. The rain match became part of Marty's personal mythology. Not his greatest achievement, not his most impressive win, but one of the purest expressions of who he was. A man who would play ping pong anywhere, anytime, under any conditions, for any amount of money, because the game mattered more than comfort, more than convenience, more than safety or common sense. Champions aren't built in perfect conditions. They're built in moments when everything is wrong and they choose to compete anyway. When the venue floods and they find a park. When the rain pours and they play anyway. When every rational person says quit and they refuse. That's championship mentality. Not the ability to win when conditions are ideal. The willingness to try when conditions are impossible. Marty Reisman had a match in 1 hour. The venue flooded. He played outside in pouring rain, soaking wet, freezing, exhausted, and won. Not because he was stronger, because he refused to quit, because the money mattered, because the game mattered, because showing up mattered more than comfort. 20 people witnessed it. Most of them are gone now, dead or moved away or forgotten. But some remember. Some still tell the story. The night Marty Reisman played ping pong in Prospect Park in a rainstorm. The night common sense lost to dedication. The night 2 players chose suffering over canceling. That's what greatness looks like. Not always pretty, not always smart, but always committed, always showing up. No matter what,